Hi everyone, this is your dear trader Aravind Srinivasan. In this video, we are going to be looking at 10 stocks that are on my watch list for the month of July 2023. Three main reasons why I've chosen these 10 stocks are good risk reward ratio, good momentum, and they're from the Nifty 100. Let's go. So this is the chart of the Adani green. As you can see, it's in the daytime frame again. So as you can see, it's been consolidating well for a while now. It's been consolidating for about 100 days right now. So there's a good chance that there is a breakout that's going to happen here. And as you can also see, it's been narrowing down. So this is a strong bearish candle which also has the reversal probability here. So that is going to be my probably my stop loss, or it forms a good resistance over there. So considering this as the resistance, my ideal trade would be somewhere here for the entry, and so that would be my risk. My reward would be around 1000, a little less than 1200. So this forms a very good risk reward ratio, and it's more than 4.5. It's about 4.66. and that according to me is a pretty good risk reward ratio. The next stock that I have here is the Axis Bank, again in the daytime frame. As you can see, it's been moving upwards for a while now. Although there's a small pullback here, again the pullback has been till the support level, which has become a resistance over here, and it has respected this critical level and it has bounced back. So the upside that I see here is quite good. The reason being it is at its all-time high right now. So it has broken out its previous all-time high. It has formed a good resistance over there, and it's looking at going upwards. So my ideal entry would be somewhere close to this range. So this is going to be my risk. And the reward, I would like to keep it somewhere around a little above 1000. It's somewhere around 1033. It can be somewhere between 1033 and 1041. As you can see, even for the Fibonacci retracement series, it has been close to the 0.5 area, and if I also look at extending it, so the way I see it, there's a good upside from here for about 16%. We can expect a similar momentum from here, but nevertheless let's be a little conservative. Let's set the target just based on the risk reward ratio here, although there's a higher value that is possible to be achieved. So that's your Axis Bank. So the next stock that we are looking at over here is the Bajaj Holdings and Investments. The reason I have this in my watch list is that it's been consolidating quite well over the last couple of months, close to 10 months to be precise, and it has tried breaking out once but didn't hold long enough to be a breakout. But as you can see, even in the recent past, in the last couple of days, it's been shuttling in a very small area, and there's a good chance of this breaking out here. The risk that I would say that I have here is its nearest resistance level, whereas the reward again that I see here is quite good. So this would probably be my entry, and this would be my risk, whereas the reward could be just above the breakout area, which is close to again 3 with your RRR. Could be slightly above this, yeah. So that's 3.14. so this is a good probability for it to happen. So the whole point of having a watch list or the whole trade setup is based on the probability, and since we have a good risk reward ratio, even if we have an average success rate, or even if our trade setup is only an average setup, we would still be successful and profitable on the long run. So that is what we're looking at achieving here. So the next stock that we have on our list is Gale. So as you can see, again, it's been a beautiful consolidation. It's been narrowing down. The buyers have been showing good pressure, buying pressure at this area. So as you can see, this particular price has been tested time and again, and mostly because of the price that we have here. It's close to 100 rupees. This has been a critical area, as you can see. So there is a good possibility for a breakout that could happen here. So again, my risk reward is what I'm looking at here. So my ideal entry would be somewhere here, and the risk that I'll be taking would be, even if I'm being a little conservative, would be somewhere here, and my target would be the resistance area over here. So this again gives us a decent risk reward ratio, although the potential for this stock to go up is quite high. So as you can see, the previous bullish momentum was about 18%. We can definitely expect a breakout of at least 10% from here, but let's be conservative and let's set our targets. So if it were me, I would take a decision on exiting the complete trade based on the volatility and based on the rate at which the stock grows here. But then again, I would definitely set this target as my target 1 and at least exit a portion or half of my quantities just to mitigate the risk, because capital protection is the primary criteria that we should have in mind as a trader. With no margin, there's no trade that we can take in the future, so protect our margin at any cost. The next stock that we're going to be looking at is the Indus Towers. As you can see, the stock is right now at its monthly supply zone. So this has been a pretty good strong supply that's been held since 2013. So there's a very good possibility for the stock to bounce back from here. In fact, there's a good possibility for this to even bounce back to give you 100% returns, if not more. As you can see, if you're looking at the patterns to understand the direction of the trade, it has also formed, say, double bottom or triple bottom here, and it's close to the neckline here. The chances of it breaking this particular neckline here is also pretty good. Even otherwise, if you can notice, it's broken out from a critical area, and you can see the volume of this particular day over here, the 31st of March, and it's been holding back quite well. And so it has retested this level on the 30th of June, the level at which it broke out. So it is also retested on this level, so I feel it's a good possibility for an upside. So yeah, this is definitely on my watch list. And if we are going to be looking at the risk reward ratio, my risk over here would be, the ideal entry is here, and my risk ideally should be here. So I'd wait till the stock comes at least to this level with my risk here. My reward would be somewhere here if I'm being very careful about the trade. But then again, if I'm being a little aggressive, I would take this trade with the risk being here and having a target here. If it is purely going to be held only for the month. But if you ask me, this is definitely a good stock to watch out for a longer term investment too, to be held for a couple of months too. So it's up to you. So the next stock that we're looking at is the JSW Steel. So now we're looking at the JSW Steel, and as you can see, this particular resistance has been tested close to 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 times. So the bears have been trying to push at this price range, but then the bulls have succeeded and it has broken out. So it is definitely a good stock if you're going to be trading for the breakout over here. And you can also see the buying pressure that's been formed at various areas here. So this is where the breakout has happened, and there's also good volume that you can see here. So if I'm looking at an entry for this particular trade, my entry would be close to this area, and my stop loss would be slightly below this breakout candle. I'll be looking at the momentum here, which is close to 8%, and that is exactly where I set my target to. If you look at 8%, so this is going to be my target. It has a risk reward ratio of 3.63, which is again a good risk reward ratio. That is your JSW Steel. So now we're looking at NTPC. This is again a stock that has been performing quite well consistently over the last 2-3 years, and it has been having a good bullish sentiment. The reason for the stock being in my watch list for this month again is the pressure that you see here from the bulls or the buyers, and it has been shuttling between the same range for quite some time now, for close to 10 months now, and it has broken out and it has also retested at this level. But I would still wait for it to pull back. I wouldn't be aggressive here because my ideal entry would be somewhere at least here, and this would be my risk or the stop loss that I have here. And again, the breakout momentum was close to around 5 to 6%, and that is what my target would also be, which is 5 to 6%, and keep it at 10. The risk reward ratio here is only 2.68, although this is not the best risk reward ratio. What I see here is a good potential upward movement which is beyond July 2. So that's the reason I have this in my watch list now. Another stock that definitely has a good potential breakout is the Tata Steel. As you can see, the range has been narrowing down, and you must have understood by now that a narrowing range is one of my favorite criterias, because it gives us an indication that the decision between the buyers or the sellers for a potential breakout is still pending, but then we'll know that it's going to be soon before a breakout, or it's going to move in one direction, either upwards or downwards. So as you can see, my ideal entry would be somewhere in this range, and this is where my entry would be. And this is my maximum risk, which is about 2.5%, and yeah, this would be my ideal reward or the target. So that's a good risk reward ratio of 3.68. In my opinion, it is always good to have a risk reward ratio above 3. Above 2 is good enough, but then 3 or above is great. So essentially, I would look out for trades, or I would prioritize trades where the risk reward ratio is higher. This is Tech Mahindra's chart, and this is how the Tech Mahindra has been consolidating since last year June. So it has been consolidating precisely for a year now, and it's been consolidating within a 15 to 20% range for about a year now, and the chances of this breaking out is low, but then I feel there's a good potential if and when it breaks out. So I'll definitely have this in my watch list, if not trade on it immediately. So if I'm being super aggressive, my trade would probably be somewhere here. This would be my entry if I'm being like super aggressive, and my target would be again about 15%. This is my super aggressive trade, but then I wouldn't recommend this for everyone. So I would request you to wait for the breakout to happen. So probably once the breakout happens, somewhere here it would retest at this level or somewhere here before the actual movement. So wait for the pattern to be formed, and the possibility of this happening in July is low, but then I think the second half of July would be a good place to look out for, time period where this could potentially happen. So to me, this is actually a critical area, and I feel we can definitely expect something to happen here. So the next stock that we have is Vedanta, and as you can see, it has been consolidating quite well and narrowing down in the last 2 months, and there's been one breakout that has happened but didn't hold for a very long time, and it fell down, and I feel there's a good possibility for this gap to be filled in the near future, although the stock could also fall down from here. So since we have a good risk reward ratio, I think even if the stock goes south, we'd still be okay overall, because it's about the possibility of our conviction to come out well, and also it is more about the risk mitigation that we have here. So again, this would be my entry somewhere close to this, and I would have a very tight stop loss in this case, because I feel the success rate in this trade is quite low, but then since I have a good risk reward ratio here, so I am still considering this trade, and the risk reward is good only because we have a tight stop loss over here. So be careful and make sure you stick to the stop loss here. Since this is the day time frame, you feel like this might be very small stop loss, but when you look at smaller intervals, this is actually a reasonable stop loss that we have. So the stop loss is about 3 points, close to, I think it's about 1%, if I'm not wrong. That's my trade setup for this particular stock. So make sure you guys also do your own analysis. Make sure to set up your own risk reward ratio, because every trader's risk appetite, every trader's conviction might be different. This is just my opinion, and this is not a direct call that I'm giving for you guys to blindly or randomly invest. Make sure this setup makes sense to you. Watch out for these stocks. This is your dear trader wishing you a fantastic and profitable July 2023.